For a gospel art, listen, whether you grease your hair or not, your spirit is the most important tool you have. Write that down.
The essence of what we need to do is to rise above mediocrity.
Think like a businessman. Get involved in everything that is happening if you have a record label.
How much quality are you putting in what you do?
So we have to understand the power of social media and leverage on it to be able to create a digital revolution.
Excellence is not the preference, it's the standard of what we represent as Christians.
It is God's responsibility to bless you. It is your responsibility to prosper. God will not do that for you.
Child of God, you and I must command God's essence. See, God's essence, absolute truth cannot be denied.
The power of focus is the new way to get people interested in what you're doing, because so many people don't read anything anymore. It's so sad.
Who are you? What is your brand promise? What do you think and say about yourself? You need to be positive.
It's God's responsibility to bless you. It is your responsibility to prosper, but you can't prosper if you don't have products. Your music is a product. Whatever it is you do, that is a product.
Look, you've got to understand the station format. You want to play a song, is it a beat format? Is it in the beat format? Is it in the Cool FM format? It's a classic format. If a song is coming out today and you want to go to Classic FM, it's classic.
What we don't know is that for the gospel artist, your music is weapon. It was as powerful as a gun, as a cannon, as a drone. God saw it exactly the same way he saw a sword, saw a shield, saw a spear, saw your worship.
Two things I want to ask. One, Zamar 2016. I don't know the full meaning. I must not deceive myself. I will say Zamar.
Okay, I think you
Zamar.
came late because I
Okay.
think I defined what
Okay.
Zamar meant.
Okay.
All right?
Then the other one is this. The speaker, they all spoken about production and all. But one thing, must everybody sing? That's one thing we've not taught here. Must we sing? Because I believe there are some that is born to be behind for us to move forward. I'll use myself as an example. Where I came from in Edo State, I did a hit. All right? But I was brought in to Lagos by somebody. One of our speakers knows her. For the past 2 years, I have been studying the Lagos music scene. I didn't just jump into it. Sometimes I ask myself, must I sing in Lagos or I should work with this person? So I want to know, must everybody sing or we should be behind? Because sometimes, because you lead praise and worship in the church, people say, oh, you can sing, then you want to wax an album. I was used to use the word wax. So you can blow. The wax, that's the word they used to use then. Wax or production wax is the same thing.
Okay, I think what he's trying to say is that can everybody become an artist? You know, that I mean, you have everybody choristers and everything. Must everyone become an artist, right? Yeah.
All right. Let me answer first, and then any of the speakers can also speak. In the music industry, singing is not the only job that you have there. You can be an artist manager, whether it's a road manager. It can be a composer, writer, song producer, DJ, or what have you. If you don't have the gift of singing, please don't dare to sing. Okay? However, some people are gifted, but their giftedness needs to be worked, like you need to work on yourself. So if you are still in that, then you can work on yourself, get a vocal trainer or a coach to help you harness that gifting. But don't say because you believe and you are spirit-filled, you want to stand and sing. You will just make mess of yourself.
Okay.
Sorry, let me add to it. Again, in my industry, people ask a similar question on being an OAP, a presenter. You know, what I'll say is you need to know yourself. You need to come to terms with who you are, what you have, and your capacity. You know, are you gifted to, okay, in my industry, it also relates here. Are you gifted to be an on-air personality? There's being a producer, there's being a writer. You can produce shows, you can write shows, and then you can present. Again, in knowing yourself, let me liken it to a fella and a, give me a what's her name now? Celine Dion. Their voices are different. But to me, Fela found his niche. Imagine a Fela singing a Celine Dion kind of song. Or a Celine Dion trying to sing a Fela kind. It wouldn't work. So it's you knowing yourself, identifying your strengths, and where you know you can function optimally.
My name is Peculiar, and I have this challenge I'm seeing. I'm speaking on behalf of myself, on behalf of every person here and those on the street. Now, when you only talk about the last point, you said something about let your music make impact. Very important. Then, Mr. Ifeanyi said, Pastor Ifeanyi said, consecration. Now, Mr. Harris, you said something about your value system. Yes. Now, when on the right hand side we have the Jesus gospel. Now on the street, you see the circle, the bomb shaking and all the rest. Now, a Jesus person hears, this one are worldly music, because you don't hear the content. And the other person hears Jesus thing, God thing, say this is gospel. Now, I am supposed to be a motivational speaker, but I was called to transform it into melody and tones, for example. But I have a problem with that because the on-air radio personality here, please answer this question for me very correctly. Why is it that when I have a good song that should touch the life of people, and I bring it to radio stations, but because it doesn't have the general content of so destructive parts that is very, very relevant there on the street, it doesn't get played, it get bounced. Why?
All right. First of all, cool down. Easy. We're not fighting. Nothing but love. There's so many ways to look at that. I don't know whether to say unfortunately or okay, as it is, we don't have an all-out gospel radio station that will say, hey, look, this is, in fact, first and foremost, the law doesn't make provision for a gospel station or a political station. They're all circular. How you intend to interpret your station is another thing entirely. And so some stations have reservations on playing outright gospel music, because once you start doing that, the Muslims will come, play our own. The others will come, play our own. And then you'll now be caught in some web that you have no business in. So a whole lot of stations, okay, let me speak for my station, we try to avoid that and play safe. And where you'll hear us play a whole lot of gospel songs on Sundays, you'd hear a whole lot of that. Then every now and then during the week, we can throw in one or two and all of that. Like I did say, a trick around this is to get your people, get your network to call the station and say, hey, look, I want to hear this. What's your name, please? Peculiar has a fantastic song. I need to hear the song called Peculiar by Peculiar. By the time you have about 10, 15 people calling to ask for the song Peculiar by Peculiar, even the radio presenter will be, what is this Peculiar about? Let's play it and hear. That is one way around it. Another way is, another thing you should know is, there's what we call commercial music. You know, where it's all about, you know, shake the bum bum and, you know, the beats and all of that, you know, just to get it out there. But it wouldn't last. Then again, what you're doing is not the world system, is God inspired. What is God telling you? How is He leading you? He will give you instructions on what to do. And there would be witnesses to confirm what He's doing in your industry, in the industry. So these are things I would say you should be sensitive to. And I think it will go well with you. Are we still fighting? Okay.
Okay, the next question, please.
Sorry, I just want to answer that.
Even the Bible says you have to be wise as serpents and gentle as doves. So you think about it and you say, R. Kelly came out with I Believe I Can Fly, and it became a massive global hit. Now, we don't know, like P.I. says, the fact that it has Jesus on it doesn't make it gospel. And the fact that Jesus is not on it doesn't make it less gospel or make it secular. You also need to be able to say, this is my analogy when I think of, Jesus says, I've sent you out to be sheep among wolves. My perception, and P.I. is the pastor here, so he's the theologian, but my perception is the reason sheep can live among wolves is because the sheep look like wolves. If the sheep looks like a sheep surrounded by wolves, the wolves will eat the sheep. So the sheep must be camouflaged to, quote unquote, look like wolves to be able to infiltrate them. So sometimes if you come with a frontal assault, and there's nothing wrong with that, if you come with a frontal assault of Jesus, 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 you're going to have, and because this is the system, you're going to have resistance. You'll even have resistance from people who are Christians who probably don't enjoy, so to speak, gospel music because it's not well done. But hey, I believe like I Can Fly resonates with something inside of me. The Storm Is Over resonates with something inside of me. So I think it's also about the way you couch your message that doesn't come across as being aggressive, but you come across like sheep among wolves. So I think you should think about that as well.
Okay.
President, my name is Frank A.K. I believe in music, your character comes into play. I mean, your type. The speaker who spoke on the aspect of branding mentioned something like having a mentor. Personally, I have mentors like Ray Boltz, Don Moyne, and a few others. And I found out their songs most times are not, permit me to use the word danceable, unquote, but they pass the message, and they are evergreen songs. Personally, I have written songs based on life experiences. I was with somebody at the time and it was like, make this thing danceable. Now the question is, to what extent should the danceability be before we lose focus?
To what extent should the danceability be before you lose focus? No one can answer that question for you. You're the one with the vision. You're the one who wrote the song. You're the one who got the inspiration, right? Like he said, like Wale said, when you go into a studio, right, and the producer says to you, I think you should use this beat, I think you should use, and you say to him that, but this is how I got it. It was revealed to me. God is not, his ways are constant, but his medium, do you understand? The message is same, but his medium is always different. He comes to you the way he knows that he can get across to you. So I cannot answer that. I may not be able to answer that question to what extent you're the only one who can be convicted about the extent to which your music can be danceable. And I don't think there's an extent to which your music can be danceable, actually. Take, for example, if you're a hip-hop artist, is there an extent to which your music can be hip-hop? Is there an extent to which your music can be pop, or an extent to which Usher's music can be R&B? You're known for what you're known for. The most important thing is your message and how you communicate it. I think that's it. Do you need me to answer the question about the mentor? Right.
Okay. You see, one thing about Africa, we love to dance. This is where this is our originality. If you go to a place like Warri, for example, and you're singing worship to them, they may not listen to you. However, when I did Ijoba for Lala Judge many years ago, it was a full album, I think about 12-track album, kind of. Ijoba was the only song that thrived, that was everywhere, and Lala Judge was known today for Ijoba, and it was a very super slow song. Now, you have to be real to your message. What are you passing across? Some music will cut across to people and as very slow, and people will like it. Some will be fast, people will still like it. Domwe, for example, is a white man. In the environment, it's pop, soft rock that they do. If you practice that here and you don't have a name, for example, you might be on your own. So where you are, you need to understand what people want to listen to. If you want to go mainstream, you want to go commercial, you need to understand, okay, what is my purpose? Who am I? What's my identity? For example, Frank Edwards came up with a lot of rock and all that. His music has both fast and slow music, yet his audience was able to consume that. So it depends on who you are. I advise people sometimes, if you are not known and you don't have a super good voice, don't try to be all in slow music kind of thing, because it will drown you. But if you can really sing, can hold your notes, you are flexible with timing, you can stride it. But you see, the fast beat is like a means to an end. It helps people to be able to get away with a lot of things. I can do shout, jump, and people won't be able to tell if I'm really good or not. But slow music with a bad voice, sorry.
Okay. Right, and then you also mentioned Don Moen, and Wale said something about the environment. Actually, most of Don Moen's song in that environment was fast. God is good, that we just sing, is for soft rock heads, is a club banger. They are already in heaven, they are dancing. In Africa, if you do God is good, they just be wondering, get to the real song. It's not as if the song is bad, but they're ready for you to do bang, 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 So once you do bang, 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 and you get, that's it, I'm done.
All right. I just want to ask, how do I get my artists more platforms to minister on? What are the conventional ways in Christendom? I don't want to be too aggressive and do something that is not Christian. So that's just my question.
You want to be able to push your artists to the world, for more performances. So you have a targeted demography. Who are the people that you would want your artists to be in front of? Like I mentioned when I was doing my presentation, there's a way you can actually use some of these tools to actually look at your demography. For instance, are you looking for a platform for your artists within the Lekki axis? Then who are your targets? Are they between the ages of 18 to 35 or 65 or above? So when you do that and then you look at what they like to listen to, you'll be able to position your artist for the kinds of performances that would minister to them. Because it's not just about looking for platforms for your artists. You have to be able to, after finding those platforms, also make sense. Because I think Mr. Wale was talking about event planners not liking to invite people for their events and then they embarrass the whole audience. So you have to, first of all, know the target audience. And then after knowing the target audience, look at their psychology. What do they like to listen to? And I think if the first one that you get your artist is a very, very successful one, it blows, then you can be rest assured that you get more blowing, and you just get blowing and blowing and blowing and blowing. So I think that's one of the ways that you can look at it. But there are other ways as well. I think image and brand management also has to do a lot with it, the positioning of your artist and all of that.
Okay, so he's beat me to it to talk about image and brand positioning, but from what I know about promoting your artist, one of the ways to promote an artist is to tour, because we all ask same questions. Sometimes we want things already in place for us. We want to come into an already sorted out platform, but how about creating the platform for yourself? So touring is one good way. You can either radio tour or city tour. is one good way to create a platform for your artist. Another way, like I keep saying, networking is very, very important. Social media is good, but you see, face-to-face meeting is still very important. Go to events, meet people. Outreaching is very good as well. So one of the jobs of an artist manager is for you to scout for events for which you can put your artist on. And how do you scout if you don't meet, if you don't network, if you don't go for events? Then, like he said, you also have to position your artist, look, sound, behave. Image is everything. So if you come to me to say that you want your artist to perform at a show, and I look at him and he just doesn't fit the message I'm trying to communicate, even if his content is good, I would not take him on board. So you have to position him as a person. You have to learn to create the opportunities for yourself, and you have to network. Very, very important.
Okay, let me just add this to it. I know every artist wants to be engaged and be busy. The first thing is, what material do you have? Okay, even if you haven't performed any platform before, you can record a good, even if it's 5 minutes of your artist performance or anything, or your rehearsal, upload it on YouTube. We were talking about social media. There's so many things you can gain from that. I mean, we all know Justin Bieber. He got signed on by putting his video on YouTube. You know, so you can create that as putting your artist performance and all that on YouTube. Then drive traffic from either Facebook or any of the other platforms onto it. Secondly, you can package a lot of materials, maybe CDs or videos, and write letters. We're talking about touring to churches. Let's learn to do something for free for first. You know, if I've not seen you before, I don't know what you can do. I can't come and pay to see you. But people, you have not shown what you've got. You want to be on stage and ask people to get you for 20,000 naira to come and see you. I don't know what you can do. So first of all, you need to show people the stuff that your artist can do, and then from there it will progress. It would build up from there. Okay, thank you.
Finally, there's again tagging on to what he said on an artist being able to perform for free. You know, for starters. Again, my own experience. There's what we call the praise jam, which we do every year. We have tons of people who come and they're like, let me perform, let me perform, let me perform. And we get to screen and pick who we think would be good enough to perform for free, you know, and we check out first timers. I've seen people who have grown through that over the years, you know, to a stage where they now get paid. So you would want to look at platforms like that as well. Yeah.
Now we have 3 more questions. After the 3 questions, we're going to be done. Okay.
Thank you very much. My name is Mufolo Shaw. Mufolo Shaw is the name. I'm an artist. I actually just released a single, and it's a very, very wonderful one. And okay, that sounds funny anyway, but I assure you, when you listen to it, it's wonderful. Now, my question is that I'm not the very public person. So I did it and I just put it out there and, okay, the song should just move itself. I'm not so public and I know I'm coming somewhere, you understand? So people listen to it and I get amazing feedback. So what I just did, I released it to my network, just my social sphere, and they pushed it for me, and a lot of people give great feedbacks and all of that. But I also gave a couple of online radio, Praise and the likes, and the guys in Praise also said, okay, the song is great, but you'd have to do a little bit more for it to be out there. And because of that, I had to just do some extra things, which I wasn't so used to. I had to go do another photo shoot just to have. Now, my question basically is, how far can you go to push a song? How far can you go to push a particular song? You know, for instance, like I say, I'm not so much of the public person. I mean, I've seen my friend on Instagram and the likes, you know, he's always showing videos of himself singing. I can't really do that. I'm not so, but how far can you go just to push a particular song? That's the question.
Okay. Let me speak before the points in my head disappears. You see, my understanding of our industry is that it's a lifestyle. It's not work. It's not, oh, I'm going to work in the morning and I'm coming back in the evening. No, it's a lifestyle. You're listening to what's going on. You're being sensitive to everything around you. In your case, musically. What is who playing? What is new right now? And because it's a lifestyle, it changes your life. It should alter your life to be able to fit in. And so you saying you're not the outgoing type should change to being the outgoing type, to meeting people, to pushing your work. Otherwise, you and Holy Spirit will just sit down there and you'll be looking at you. So while you're praying in tongues, you're receiving, and that's it. You've got to change. I told you earlier on that ordinarily, if you leave me, I'm not the social media type. But because of what I'm into, I have got to be there. I'm still learning the ropes and being there. But we're there already, you know. So you need to change that perspective. Yes, you've gained some traction. You need to take it to a different, the other level before you change the dimension, you know.
It's not because I'm a pastor that I'm saying this. How far did Jesus go to save us? You know, how far did he go? So if it's truly a message, if it's truly the gospel, you will put it out. You will stand in the rain if you have to. You will be on that queue if you have to. You will make those calls if you have to. You will go for those concerts if you have to. You will do whatever it takes. You know, he called it a product. You know, and that's what makes it, and that's why most of us have conflicts. You know, because I used to have conflicts with the fact that I'm a life coach and an NLP practitioner or a consultant. And then a lot of people come to meet me in the church office. So when they finish, I can't bill them because it's church. And what they did then was a professional session. It wasn't prayer or deliverance. I was talking about improving you. And then you finish, and then you just see them, you know, God will bless you, remain blessed. And for and for years I struggled with it. This guy doesn't do it for the money, except when he does it for the money. Right? So now I understand that there's a need for us to, our product unfortunately is our message as gospel artists. So your product is your gospel. So you need to push it or whatever. Your personality is now secondary in this matter. Because what makes you think, how do we define our personalities, our experiences? How do you really know you're a quiet person? If I tell you, what's your name? Just reply. Anybody, just Diane. You just spoke. So when you say you don't talk, do you understand what I'm saying? How do you know? How do you know you don't talk? See, that's not even chronic. I used to be a chronic stammerer. I used to stammer. Really chronically. I know kind of once you will beat things to talk. You know, but today it's my highest revenue generator. Amen. So now that same thing that I said I wasn't able to do, but because I gave it some attention, now I can do it. There's really nothing you can do. And I think you already sound like you can actually posture correctly. So with some few sessions with Jennifer, I think you'll be all right. You will be out there. Yeah.
If I may say, and I don't mean to be rude, or I don't mean to disparage you, you're not broke enough. Because when you're broke enough, right, you will hustle that thing to the ground. You still have a plan B, plan C, plan F. That's why you're not, forgive me, and you know, it's not proper English, but you know, right now PI is, there's a difference between hustling and hustling. Hustle. So hustle is, so to speak, you have but you want more. Hustle, when you're starting from the bottom, so you're not frustrated enough, you're not broke enough, you're not hungry enough. So as long as it's there, yeah, I did it, you know, put some stuff out there. It's on SoundCloud. Hey, check out the link, hey. But when you associate that music, that song can change your life, you would recognize that, listen, man, like he said, I'm going to go all the way. I've seen my life change. Not even change, transform by what they call the foolishness of speaking, right? I've seen my income increase exponentially. I've been able to travel to places that I've only dreamed. I've been able to take my kids to places that, you know, I never went as a kid. And I can tie it to the fact that I hustled that product to the ground. You're not broke enough. When you are, you'll push it.
Sorry,
Okay.
I'll just be real quick. So let me play devil's advocate for him, right? You know, I said you have to define success for yourself. For some people, success is different. For me, success could have been just getting my hair done for the day. That's success for me. For somebody else, success is to make $1 million for the day. So perhaps success for you is not putting your music out there. Maybe you're just one of those people who just love to do music. You just love to sing. It's a hobby. It's not a work. It's not your life's purpose. So perhaps that's it. Except the reverse is the case. If it's your life purpose, if it's your life's purpose, you have no choice. You have to be everything that you think you are not to achieve that purpose. And then you have to decide, do you want to be global? You want to be local? Do you want to a local champion? Just your network. Because some people really, all they want to do is just minister to people in their houses, their group of friends. So maybe that's you. Is that you? Fine. So you have to become what you think you're not. But guess what? It's not that you're not it, because you have it. When God gives you a vision, he gives you everything that you need to pursue it. So you just need to tap into it.
I want to talk from the side of production. Okay, I face this challenge most times. Some artists walk up to you. Now, they want to produce a song. And I say, okay, after the normal thing, we've done negotiation. I'm going to ask my question in two ways. Now, on the side of the artist is singing a song to me. And I say, on no account should this guy be doing music. I don't know, because there are some artists that come to me. I'll tell them, you need to go rehearse. You need to go do some exercises. I call some friends that know how to sing. I say, okay, coach this guy. Give him some time. Maybe he go sabi. So, and they learn and they come out with something. But there are some exceptional guys. When they sing, I'm like, God, you're not supposed to be singing. In my mind, but I won't tell them. Because number one, I need the money as a producer. Yeah, so I want you to, I'm directing this question to Oleni now. I need the money as a producer. I need the money to stand, having a music studio, being a producer. I need the money. And on the other hand, I know this guy cannot do music. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. This kind of people, they cannot sing, but they want to sing, and they have the money. You understand? You understand? You understand? Yeah, give me a minute.
Okay, is that your question?
Yeah, that's my question. The question is this: what do I do to them? Because if I tell them you can't sing, something will happen to them. Now, on the other side, on my side, if I tell them I can't do this, money will go. So what do I do?
Okay, all right. Well, see, what you're facing is not new to me. Okay, this year makes it 31 years I've been producing. So I've worked with the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I'll tell you one thing, this is very constant and it's very true. The guys who can really sing, who has talent, they don't have money. They are very rich in the spirits. But you see, the ones that cannot sing, they usually have money. I don't know, maybe there's one uncle somewhere, or they just have the money. And you know, in this business, money, the Bible says, has all things. You need money to move the business forward. Now, in my own ministry, not just the studio, what I do is I organize a program for them to train them. And I see that some of them that can't sing, but they have money, they are usually humble and they are usually teachable. But the ones that don't have money but have the voice are very difficult, perhaps very proud, very, So what I do, I have different vocal coach, and then when I tell them to jump, they will jump. So what you can do is encourage them. Because one thing that I look at is, if you have a message for the world, I can't say because your voice is bad, don't share your message to the world. It's the message of God. So the only way I can do is to help you repackage yourself if you're willing to fly. So what I do is I put them on programs. Okay, the song, in fact, most of the time their song is not even very sweet. It's just there. So you have to now record the song for them, recompose the song for them, and then let them be learning their own song over time. So when they're able to deliver it, then you recall them. Because if you say you can't record it, obviously he or she will go somewhere else and record it. So let's become a game changer. Help them to harness their gift. And I've seen some people. In fact, in London, there were a lot of people that came to me. They don't have voice. They have nothing doing in the music ministry. But today, from singing, they've made a lot of things. They have radio stations and all of that, and a lot of things springing out from their ministry. So don't tell anybody they can't do anything, because you never can tell. So help them to shape themselves. And for those who will pay you to do their job, if you have the energy, because some of us are not gifted to take a raw material and make it gold. It's a lot of headache. I remember I was recording an artist in London, and she can't even pronounce the word mighty. She said Mary. I said, what's that? Even our girl said, Mommy, and she felt embarrassed that she can't pronounce. So such people are there, but if they are flexible and humble enough to work with them. Thank you.
Sorry. Again, to add to it, I'll go back to the example I made earlier on with Fela and Celine Dion. Imagine both of them switching. Fela singing, it won't work. So Fela, I guess, was able to find out that, look, this is how my voice is, and so this is the kind of song I'll sing. And Celine Dion. So I think it will be your duty to be able to package such people. Just put them in their place for them to be able to get their message across. Again, where I am, I get people who come, they have no idea what it means to be on radio, but they want to be on radio. So it goes back to what he said. Are you pliable? Are you workable? Are you humble enough to go through the process of learning how to be on radio? It's possible.